A study was done on a group of fish. They exposed developing fish embryos to this plastic chemical called BPA. They observed their offspring. No reproductive abnormalities were found in those fish or their offspring. But their grandchildren, the third generation of fishes, they showed a 30% decrease in fertility. That's ridiculous. And then the next generation was another 20% decrease. And these researchers kept watching the generations, and it got to the point where no one could reproduce. So the population just dies. And what's crazy is this is happening to us every day. You're touching your plastic water bottle that's full of BPA. You're drinking out of your gallon milk jug. Some people do that. BPA. We're all being exposed to BPA. And a little fun fact about BPA is BPA wasn't a plastic. It was a birth control pill. Like back in the 1920s, I think, somewhere around there. BPA was made to be a birth control. So really messes with your freaking hormones. But now they found it was good for a plastic, not like other things, all that. And then I have explained the negative effects of BPA on fertility. Now let's get into what's around you that's full of BPA and what can we do to stop it. And obviously, you know, all plastic is bad for you. It's gonna lower your testosterone literally just by touching it. Now obviously, you have plastic water bottles. You have plastic pencils, like these little mechanical pencils. There's things made of plastic all around you, like I said. And they make things out of plastic these days just because it's all so cheap. They don't use aluminum or any of that because that's a lot more expensive than just a little plastic bottle or plastic piece. So for water bottles, stop drinking out of your little 16.9 fluid ounce plastic bottle that literally just sits on a shelf for weeks, maybe years on end. And BPA is just constantly leaking into your water every single day. And then you're literally just drinking BPA water at that point. And you're thinking, oh, just get the BPA free water bottle or the BPA free plastic. But BPA free might actually be worse because they put more of, I think it's like BPS or BPF or something like that, but they put more of the worst chemical than BPA. They put more of that into the mixture when they take out BPA to make it still a hard, like see-through plastic, because that's what BPA does. It makes plastic hard and see-through. Now, the grocery store. When you go to the grocery store, let's talk about meat. So the meat at the grocery store, you've seen it on the shelves. It's all, for us at least in Texas, you have this like white tray made of foam. But then they wrap the meat really tight in plastic to keep it from, I don't know, spoiling. But your meat's being touched by plastic for maybe a week. That's very not good for the meat. You really don't want that because that's also leaking plastics into your meat. So what you want to do is go up to the meat counter and you have to pick your steak, because that's usually how meat counters work, and then tell them to wrap it in wax paper. Wax paper, that's not plastic. So when they wrap it in wax paper, they're not going to use plastic on it, and then you're not having plastic touch your nice steak, or I think you can get ground beef too. For milk, I already stated in the last video that milk from those like 2% and that skim milk, that's all estrogenic, and you really don't want that. But what mostly makes it estrogenic is those little plastic jugs that they sit in. Those plastic jugs are very low quality plastic. Whenever it's sitting on the shelf, leaching plastic in. When it's sitting in your fridge, leaking plastic in. So that milk is highly estrogenic. So do not get that. What you want to do is, I talked about this in the last video, so I won't talk about it here. Just get like the last bottle, but just go watch the last video to see what I said. Heat. So when plastic gets heated, there's been a lot of studies done on this. When plastic gets hotter, more chemicals start to leach into, let's just say you have a plastic container that you just put into the oven or the microwave or something. And whenever that's getting heated up, chemicals are just being seeped into your food, and that's just plastic in your food. And that's kind of the whole point of this. You want to stop getting plastics in your food, because our food's good and we want it to be natural and animal-based, like I said in the last video. And then soda cans. I'll link a video showing this whole process off. But soda cans, you may be thinking, oh, they're aluminum, so they must be fine. But if you actually cut them open, there's very carefully, I'll just link a video so you can see it. It's lined with plastic. It's literally a plastic bag holding a fluid, and then they put the can around it. So soda cans, not good. So be sure not to use plastics, especially food containers and water bottles.